Hi, welcome back to another Insider. Today we are talking about something that is a little controversial and doesn't have to be, and honestly, it's something that as an industry we need to tackle and we need to face if we really want to thrive and if we really want to go ahead with our industry, with our work. And this is diversifying our offerings, diversifying our services, and trying to reinvent ourselves in order to face the challenges our industry is facing today. So come with me and let's see how we can do this. Over the last decades, the translation industry has been facing a lot of challenges. And we cannot blame just one factor, because I believe it's been a combination of factors that led to the situation where we are today. And like in any other industry and like in any other job, we need to face the challenge and just reinvent ourselves and try to make something out of this. I'm talking about obviously the valuation of the industry. There's been a lot of translators leaving the industry altogether, and we need to see what's going on here. It's been a decade of massive challenges, a decade or two, I would say. The evolution of AI saw some professionals leaving the industry altogether, but let's face it, we can't blame it all in one factor. We can blame it all on this AI, because it was happening before AI came along. It's been happening gradually. Before AI was the machine translation. It's been a gradual decline, because let's face it, we need to do something about this, and sometimes we just bury our heads in the sand, and we refuse to acknowledge what's happening, and we refuse to try to make changes. And we need to adapt. We need to do something about this. So, in my view, it all started with the massive devaluation of our work. This was the beginning of this massive problem that we have, this challenge that we have as an industry, that started with the devaluation, the mass devaluation of our work, especially by agencies. We went from translators to be called vendors, and that's definitely part of it. That's where we started, because when they call us vendors, no offense to those who are indeed vendors, but when you called a professional that is trained, that is a qualified professional, that has been receiving training to be a professional, a vendor, you just, let's face it, the aim of this language was to really devaluate the sector and put translators in a category of unqualified people, etc., etc., which we are not. So this is how it started. Machine translation, yes, helped, but as we've seen, there is a lot of translators now working with that tool, and for example, companies are using machine translation for massive things, and then a translator just basically post edit, and the same is happening now with AI. So this is all the factors that have contributed to the mass devaluation of our sector, and to this factor that we may be perceived as unqualified and easily replaceable professionals. Are we? Let's face it. Let's ask ourselves this question. Are we? Well, I don't think we are. Quite frankly, I don't think we are. If you have something that you, or quite frankly, if you have a company and you have, or you produce, I don't know, devices or appliances, TVs, fridges, whatever, you have an instructions manual that possibly may be written in originally in English, or I don't know, and then you want that manual translated in all different languages. Yeah, you can argue that if you are going to put that to a machine, the machine will just translate it fine, and it doesn't need to be top-notch translation. Well, at the end of the day, it's your reputation on the line, because if you are going to sell an appliance and the instruction manual is so clumsy in the language that is used that obviously native speakers of those translations are going to pick up the infinity of errors that you find in those things and laugh about it, it's honestly the face of your company. You just say, look how clumsy these guys are. If they are this clumsy with the instructions manual, I wonder how good this appliance is going to be. Because, if you don't care about all aspects of your business, and if you are a business person, I think you need to care about all aspects of your business, not just the product. If the product needs an instruction manual, it needs to be done properly. And a lot of these companies use these devices now with this AI, which I've said already, I'm not a fan. And it's not because of the challenges to my industry, it's because of the dangers that I see it may pose. And we are seeing a lot of it already with videos posing as celebrities or, politicians and things like that, that might trick someone or might trick a lot of people into think that those people have said those things or have sided with certain things that may not be true. So I can see where this is going, and it's not a very good thing. But this is for another video. The fact that this is what we have today, it is a problem because companies, unfortunately, humans became lazy and they don't want to put an effort on anything they do. That's why we have now these devices, because people don't want to think. And it's sad. It's very sad. And if you are a creative person, if you work in a creative industry such as translation or copywriting or anything that really calls you to use your brain and to be creative and to produce something nice, it really defeats you the fact that most people these days, they don't simply want to think. They just want to use some computer algorithm to create something for them. There's no merit in it, quite frankly. There's no merit, there's no quality, there's nothing. So it's really sad on that front. And of course, that's a challenge. We are highly qualified professionals. A machine cannot reach the quality of a trained professional, period. Yes, it's been evolving. Machine translation we saw how Google Translate was 10 years ago, and now it is today. Again, because Google has been employing real translators to fill up their databases with words. That's how it was achieved, because there was humans doing that. And now look what happened. Choices. A machine has no nuance. It knows no cultural background, does not understand localization. So we have a problem. We have a problem because people are relying on things that are highly unreliable. They just translate things word by word. In the case of AI, there's even the plagiarism problem, because the algorithm is going to pick up all the information about a certain topic and it's going to serve you that topic like that. So where were those words coming from? Who produced those texts? Those texts? You know, you need to understand all the implications on these things, because obviously it's not good. But in terms of translation, when you look at a translation that is made by a machine, obviously it's not going to be good, because it knows no cultural backgrounds, localization issues, nothing. That must be done by a professional. That must be done by a human eye that knows about all these issues, that has been trained to do this job. A machine cannot do it. Period. But clients sometimes look for this because they think they get the job done for less. Well, I'm not here to tell anyone how they run their business, but I would say that if I have a reputable business, I would want my business to have a great image. I would want my business to be trustworthy. I would want my business to be to have an image of something of quality. If I'm going to use something like this, as clumsy as this, the image of my business is going to suffer, I would say. And then we have the agencies. Let's face it. The whole situation started with the vendor discourse, and it's really demeaning, because first it was diminishing the translators, calling us vendors, and now they even diminish the project managers. They no longer called project managers. They called vendor managers. So they don't manage the project anymore. They manage the vendors. This is how people use language to diminish other people's value and to try to squash other professionals. This is how it has been done over the years. And quite frankly, we as translators, they as project managers, are to blame as well, because if we did not accept this from the start, it wouldn't have even started to start with. And I see now it started to change again. I see now some agencies contacting and talking about translators rather than vendors, but unfortunately the majority still use that term. And it's quite offensive. It's not that being a vendor is offensive. If I was working in retail and I was selling a product, I would be calling a vendor. I would be calling a salesperson. And there is nothing wrong with that. Is a profession, a very valuable and valid professional that it's needed. When we go to any shop, we need our vendors, we need our salespeople to be there and help us out to buy something that we need. So if we go and buy a car, we need the vendors, we need the salespeople to be there to actually sell us the car. Or even real estate agents or any other vendor, any other person that works in retail that sells things, or even wholesale, because there's also vendors as well. They are valuable professionals, yes, but we are not vendors. Translators are not vendors. We are translators. It's a different thing. It's a different profession. It's not that being a vendor is a problem. The problem is you're not going to call a doctor a lawyer, because a lawyer is a lawyer, a doctor is a doctor. You're not going to call a lawyer, I don't know, a waiter, because a lawyer is a lawyer, he's not a waiter. Different industries, different job. This is what the problem is. It's not that it's a problem to be a vendor. It's a problem not to be called by your job title. We are not vendors. We are not here selling any product. We provide a service. It's a different thing. And all of these factors contributed to the massive devaluation of our industry. But this is what we have. This is the reality. So now we have to face it, and we have to do something about it. And what we are going to do about it. This is what we need to think about, and this is what we need to do. So, we need to diversify. We can't get stuck into one thing. We need to diversify. Because if we get stuck, we die. Simple. So, how can we do that? We need, first of all, harvest your skills. It's highly likely that most of us have a wide set of skills that we use together with translation to do our job. It's highly likely that a lot of us are content creators. We most likely provide services of copywriting as well. It's highly likely that we are very good with web designing as well, because chances are we produce our websites for years and years. Sometimes, if we think outside the box, if we think about skills that we already have, we might think, okay, I can do a course, I can do some training and improve my skills overall in this particular thing, and then I can offer service, diversify my services. We can create bundles, for example. Imagine if you know web designing, if you can create websites, you can offer a bundle where you can produce the website for the client. If the client needs, you can also translate the content of that website and publish the website. You can have a maintenance plan with your client where you go and you check for the plugins if they are in order. For example, let's say every week you go and you check for the plugins to the client, and you might, if they want you to do, you have a copywriting also including in the plan, and you produce a small article every week for the client if they want. They provide you with what information you should put on that article, that sort of thing. And that is diversifying your offerings, is diversifying the services that you provide. And that may keep you in business. Because obviously, it's something that you need to do. Even if, for example, you see there is a decline in your current specialization, try to look for other topics that you are really good with. And you can diversify that. You can, again, do some training and change your specialization altogether and go and focus. Do a market research. See what is the demand for and what topics are in really high demand that you can get some training on, and you can offer those subjects. It is obviously a good option to think about everything that you can do and diversify. Think about all the options out there. Do a market research. What's really in high demand at the moment? And from what you see that is in high demand, from all those things, which one of them you think you could do. Of course, just don't go all the way and do everything that is on the band, because that is not going to be profitable and that's not going to be good. From the things, do a market research, see what's in high demand, and then assess, make an assessment of what you can do, of what you feel comfortable doing. And then you might create a whole different range of services, a whole different range of offerings that may appeal to a lot of clients that may think, okay, I can do all of this with this person. I don't need to contact 3 or 4 or 5 providers to get this done, because this person can do it all. So, for example, this is one of the things. Think outside the box. You don't need to get stuck in just one thing. Think outside the box. Use all your resources to your advantage. Use all the skills and knowledge that you have to your advantage. If there is something that you are very good at, even if it's something that is a hobby of yours, like, I don't know, writing articles, whatever it might be. It doesn't need to be finance, it doesn't need to be law, it doesn't need to be medical, because those are the subjects that are already very popular, that are already saturated, I would say, with offerings. So think outside the box. Think about something that may be less looked or overlooked. You just think about something that you think, that you know you are good at, that you know that you can, even if you can get some training to, improve your skills, to get more confident with those skills, and then you reinvent yourself and you offer something else. I think this is the solution for this. You either give up or you keep fighting and you keep doing what you love doing, and you reinvent yourself, you reinvent your services, and you keep going. I think that is the way to go, because let's face it, this is all hyped up now with this AI business and all of that. But soon enough, people will start realizing, and especially companies, law firms, medical translation, yes, they might be using it, but will they trust it 100%? I don't think so. I don't think that we will have things in court that are totally 100% produced by a machine. Why? First of all, there is the confidence issue, there is the privacy issue. Every single thing that you put on those tools, you giving that algorithm all the information. You're not going to put information about your clients in an algorithm, because you are under a confidentiality agreement. We are, as translators, and I know a lawyer would be too. So think about it. The same with a doctor. They cannot put information of a patient into something that they don't know what may happen. So think about, there is always industries that, although they might use it for a limited number of aspects of their job, they will always need a professional. So if that means that you might start offering post-editing, so be it. So be it. But of course, you have to price yourself accordingly. Just don't devalue yourself. Just don't go with a bandwagon and then charge 1 cent per word because you post-editing. I would say I would prefer to translate a document from scratch than post-editing, because sometimes in post-editing the errors are so bad that you basically have to redo it again. So it's all a question of do your study, do your market research, see where you are, see what you can do, what skills you have, harvest all those skills, perfect them if you need, and diversify. I think that's the solution for the challenges we face today. And that's all for today. I hope you like this insider today. I hope you like this topic. I know it's a little bit of a controversial topic. I know a lot of people. It's kind of a polarizing issue. This AI, it's a polarizing issue, and some people obviously hate it, other people love it, and then there's all this discourse, and especially those who really think it's a positive thing tend to attack people that see the the shortcomings of this technology and all the issues that may come with it. And we are already seeing what is happening with the use of this technology. And if we don't start putting some controls in it, this is gonna obviously grow, and there will be more issues. And I see the issues, for example, with legality, with you know, especially in terms of producing videos where you can depict someone making all sorts of allegations, and then that person being blamed to be associated with some sort of discourse, some sort of, I don't know, ideas that may not be the case, that may be false. That person may have not said that. And I have said this in previous videos. I have already been fooled by one video where I saw the president of a country actually saying something really damaging, and I was shocked that the president was saying that, only to realize it was fake. He never said it. It was fake. So, and I realized it was fake, but a lot of people are believing these things. And if you go on platforms like Facebook, it's going rampant. You see it every day. And this is the negatives of this. This is the negatives of this, and this is why this issue is so polarizing, because of all the negatives, of all the implications that the use of this can have. And unfortunately, people are not using it just for the good it might have. And we can see they are using it definitely for the horrible things they can produce with it. And that's, for me, that's why I am really skeptical about it. I'm really cynical about it. I'm gonna be very honest. I don't really like it because I see all the bad things that can happen about with this. And it's not what might happen to the translation industry, because as I said, as translators, we can diversify, we can reinvent ourselves, and if needs be, we can even use it to our advantage. It's not in regards to my industry, it's in regards to what is happening overall with this particular technology that I'm really cautious about. It's the implications that I have seen definitely online, and the false things that have been created. Basically, it's disgusting, when they put photos of people that have passed away, saying that things that obviously are damaging. And for example, when you talk about people that passed away, and I'm talking about, for example, the case of a football player that has recently passed away in a horrid disaster, a Portuguese soccer player, Diogo Jota. After his death, there's every day, there's a bombardment of fake posts on social media claiming all sorts of different things. And these crooks don't understand that there's a family grieving for the death of that person. And reading that sort of nonsense, it's hurtful. Of course, the family knows it's not true. It's they lies, but it's still hurtful. But this is what AI is being used for. So this is what I am cautious about, and this is what I'm talking about when I say I don't like it. It's because of things like this, not really because people use it to translate or whatever, because I still know that we can do something about this as translators, because we have the skills. We have the skills, and the clients still need us. There is no way a law firm, there is no way a doctor, it's going to trust a machine without reviewing, without doing anything about it, especially with translations. So I would not claim doom and gloom just yet. I just know I acknowledge there's a challenge here. I acknowledge that a lot of people think there is a saving, but the same happened when machine translation appeared. A lot of people thought there was a saving there, and then they realized maybe not. And the services came back because obviously the companies started saying, oh, well, this is not quality, and then our reputation is on the line as well. So, and the whole thing needed to be restructured, and there's now translators working with things that have been translated by machines, and then they just do the post editing. So we might need to create a new service for ourselves and incorporate all of this, because that's how it is. But just saying that one factor is the reason for all the challenges, I don't think so. And one of the things that I think as well is that there needs to be more unity amongst, especially in certain cultural backgrounds, needs to be more unity among professionals to talk about these things openly and come together in order to solve problems, rather than just distance themselves from each other, and that's not the way about it as well. So, reinvent yourself. Harvest all the knowledge that you have, reinvent yourself, and I think you will up for something. And, if you have any topic related to either what we discussed here today or otherwise, please leave a comment below and suggest. I can talk about it. I'm very happy to accommodate any of your queries, any of your questions. I'm very happy to talk about. So if you have any questions about that, about something I discussed today, or something else that you would like me to talk about, please suggest. Or if you like to leave a comment about what you think. What do you think about this? What do you think about these technological challenges that we face today? What do you think about AI? What do you think about all of this that I said? Not just for the translation industry, but in terms of what has been happening with a lot of fake videos, a lot of fake images, a lot of false information that has been created using this type of technology that really tricks people into think that those people have said that, those people have done that, this is reality. So what do you think? I would love to hear from you. I would like to hear your opinion about this. Do you think we should create some sort of limits to try to stop this type of issue to continue and possibly develop into a much more sinister thing? Or you think that it's fine, we will understand that it's fake. Because quite frankly, I'm going to be very honest, these days when I read something, I don't believe it anymore because I don't know if it's true or not. And quite frankly, even in our so-called reliable media, like newspapers, TV channels, I don't trust anymore. There's a massive lack of trust because unfortunately these days it's not about providing information, and especially in the mainstream media, it's not about providing information, it's about providing an agenda. And that's wrong. I think they should be providing whatever information they've got and then let the public decide what they think about it. But these days, it's almost like you being indoctrinated in a certain agenda, which I think is wrong. No matter what the agenda is, I think journalism should be neutral, should be impartial, should be just stating the facts, and I don't think that is happening at the moment in any media, unfortunately. So we got to a point that I'm definitely very skeptical about everything that I read. I am even more so about what I watch on the news. I think our creative thinking, our critical thinking needs to get a workout these days because everything that we see may not be 100% a fact. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you believe on, for example, the mainstream media? Do you read a newspaper and you still trust that newspaper? Do you still trust newspapers? Do you still trust your your TV news, your TV channels in your country? Do you still trust them? Or you also have a little bit of a skeptic idea about what they say and you think, this does not sound right. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I would be very, very happy to hear from you. And of course, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next week. Have a good one. Bye.